guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another coffee and conversation. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, so if you've missed any of those, I will link them below, but it's a series I've been doing where we just sit here, have a conversation about a topic. And today's topic is going to be all about what simple living actually is. Real quick though, before we get into this topic, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do so now. Every single week I post brand new videos on simple living and homemaking and food from scratch and everything in between. So if those are topics that appeal to you, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the new content coming in. Several months ago, I did a video, and it might have been my first video of Coffee and Conversations, to be quite honest. I did a video on my personal journey on how I began living a simple life, and I also gave some budgeting tips within that video. I will link it in the description box below if that's something that you'd like to check out. Now, looking back, I should have actually done this video first, but that's okay because here we are talking about it. The reason I picked this topic today is I was at dinner a few nights ago with some girlfriends, and there was a new lady there, and she was somebody that read my blog, and she was asking me some questions about our life here, and she was talking about simple living, but she kept referring to my garden, and she kept asking me about my chickens, and I kind of started to realize that some of the questions I was getting was more homestead style questions rather than a simple living question. And I've had other people apart from that dinner, either on YouTube or my blog, that have sent in questions in the same regard, like asking about when I started the garden and referring to simple living in those emails and comments. And I got to thinking, I think that so much of the content out there is really focused on these very farm-like, homestead, even my own. I do simple living videos because I live a simple life, but I just so happen to also have a large garden, and I just so happen to also have a flock of chickens here and some rabbits, so I do call this a small homestead, but I just so happen to have those things. I love all the creators out there putting out all this simple living content. I find it inspiring, just as you probably find it very inspiring. I love to see their lifestyles, and I love to see a beautiful garden, and I love all of those things. However, simple living does not mean that you have to farm or homestead or have a garden or have chickens. You could live in a one-bedroom apartment in the middle of the city and enjoy simple living. You can enjoy a simple lifestyle right where you're at. But let's just talk about real quick what simple living is not, so we can just get that out of the way. Simple living is not self-sufficiency. It has nothing to do with living an old-fashioned life. It has nothing to do with rejecting modern ways, and it has really nothing to do with frugal living and saving a lot of money. Those are elements that can be part of simple living, but that is not what simple living is. Let's talk about what simple living actually is. Simple living is pursuing people over things, being more content with what you have. It is no longer chasing the more concept, and it is enjoying the small things in life. That is simple living, and that can be done in an apartment downtown or on a small homestead. Those are elements of a simple life. If we go a little bit deeper into those concepts, it's making our life less complicated. So simplifying our life, okay? Not making our life necessarily easier, but just making it less complicated. And what are some things that make our life complicated? Debt, activities your kids are in that they don't really necessarily need to be in, peer pressures of life from other adults on things like vacations and being in debt and keeping up with the Jones mentality and being on a hamster wheel of purchasing things constantly and having to work a stressful job. It's long commutes that maybe you're taking that you don't like every single day. It's all of these elements of life that can complicate things for us, and they very often do. You'll find that in life, when you start to really look at the things you do, most most of what we do is because of either peer pressure or expectations from outside sources, like having our kids in things that they don't need to be in or they don't even necessarily enjoy. I remember when my daughter was very young and I was a stay-at-home mom and I was going to college and I was maintaining our home and I was taking care of my late husband's health issues. I also stacked on there soccer for my daughter, who absolutely hated it, and I got her dressed twice a week and would drive her in a mad dash after dinner to a soccer game, and I would sit there and I felt like I was doing what I was supposed to be doing and giving her an experience that I seen other parents giving their kids. And really, when I look back at that, I think I would not have done that today had I have the mentality that I have. I was doing that because I saw other parents do that, and I was overwhelming our schedule and making life a lot more complicated by continuing to do that every single week. And so that's just a small example. I mean, there's so many things that we do that we see other people doing, and so we think we need to be doing it. Like when we have another kid and we get a bigger car, or maybe somebody's buying a bigger house because they got enough equity in their house, so we think we need to have a bigger house or a better this or a better that. And it's all materialistic and it's all for outside eyes. And when we take a look at that, it really doesn't mean much for our lives. It doesn't make our lives more meaningful to be keeping up with Joneses or buying things or filling our days with activities that overwhelm us and stress us out. We have to look at all of those aspects. So what simple living really is making our life less complicated in all areas. It really is saying no to a lot of these things that we're seeing on an outside level. We're saying no to things that other people might be doing, and nobody likes to feel like they're weird, okay, or different. I know that people have asked me questions because they're a little curious about what I'm doing over here. And really all it is just uncomplicating my life so that I could be home more with my child and live that more meaningful life with her that I feel is meaningful, right? Because not everybody has the same priorities. For me, spending as much time with her as I can is my priority, and showing her how to live a more gentle existence, to appreciate a garden and to make things with her own hands, and to teach her how to cook and how to create a home for herself so that when she leaves me, she can do that for herself. And so that is my priority right now. And I love it. I love our life. And so whatever your priorities are, just know that you can do this no matter where you live. You can simplify things for yourself. And the progression really is to be more content, right? Spending less money, maybe having a budget for yourself, looking at work and making sure that's good there. And then the time that you're spending, is it quality time, right? Are you chasing things or entertainment, or are you looking at slowing down a bit, enjoying and being more present in life's moments and enjoying the simple pleasures that this life has to offer us? Are you spending meaningful time with the people that you love and care about? And that is all under the umbrella of simple living. You can do this from a 1-bedroom apartment, like I said, or you can have a homestead like me. And the reason you're seeing so many YouTubers like myself show you things like a homestead or gardens, it's almost impossible to find somebody living a simple life on YouTube that does not have a garden, right? And the reason that is because when you begin living a more purpose-driven life or a more meaningful life, you want to do things that come more naturally to us as humans. And so what's more natural than having a garden and growing your food and walking out and picking flowers for yourself? And that might at first seem super boring, or maybe you're just kind of like, I've never gardened in my life, but you don't have to garden if you still are not interested in it. It has nothing to do with those things. But so many people find so much value in having that garden or making that jam or baking that bread. There's something very beautiful about working with your hands and being in the quiet and enjoying that sort of lifestyle that comes more naturally to human beings. But I just, again, wanted to make this video to just explain that simple living has really nothing to do with those things in terms of you simplifying your own life, right? Like those are just added things that are added to a lifestyle. I hope this video helps you understand what living a simple life really is, and also has you sort of thinking about things for yourself. If you're somebody that wants to simplify life and you want to live a more meaningful and purposeful life, simple living really could be a great thing for you to start practicing. And I hope that I've given you some ideas on some aspects to ponder on, so that you can change and work on those different dynamics in your own life. I want to thank you so much for watching today. If you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up because that helps other people find it on YouTube. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you guys on the next one.